Trump. Trump visited Michigan yesterday. I didn't have an opportunity to go out and see him. I would have loved to go and see him. However, I didn't have the opportunity to do that because I was in the studio all day yesterday. From sun up till like let's see, I got here like 6:30, 7 a.m. yesterday. I didn't leave until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That's a fact. I got here to this studio. When y'all see me live streaming on after hours, that's what it takes. I did a review video of a woman today where she said that men look up to men that put in minimal effort but have or showing maximum results, like the live streamers. And I was thinking to myself, if you knew what it took to be successful, if you knew what it took, see, getting a degree and just getting a regular job, if that's all you choose to do, that's small time. From the time 7 a.m. till 4 o'clock in the morning yesterday. After we shut down after hours last night at 1 something in the morning, I was still here till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I got back up at 6:30, 7 o'clock a.m. And then we got right back to it, and we don't make no excuses. We execute. So for people that think that you just winging it through life or everything is just going to fall in your lap, they are incredibly mistaken. The game is to hustle. The game is the work ethic. The game is the dedication. The game is to get it. And so what people don't see behind the scenes is all of the things that go into what the final product is that you present to them so that you can ultimately change their lives, or you can have a great show, or you upgrading things, or you working on things, or all of that other type of stuff. And so you got to take care of business. So a lot of people don't believe that the grind is real. So I didn't get an opportunity to go to Trump coming to visit Michigan and speak on these announcements that he made. But the first thing that he did when he got off the plane, when he came over here to Michigan, was he met up with our illustrious governor, Gretchen Whitmer. And this is him getting off the plane. Somebody said I called cap. All you got to do is go watch After Hours yesterday. Why is it always somebody with no profile picture? Biden, they never got off the plane that easy. Listen, you see how they greeting each other? You see how they greeting each other with the presidential motorcade out there? They sat there and they try to act like that they not for Republicans. They sit there and they try to act like, no. I don't like Trump. Nope, it's not our problem and all of that. The smart ones, the smarter ones, I'm not going to call her smart because I don't necessarily care for the job that she did as governor here in Michigan. But the smarter ones play both sides. They do. The smarter ones play both sides. Yep, she ran as a Democrat. Yep, she's a Democratic governor, but every single time she went and visited the White House. Now Trump is over here in Michigan making sure that he announced capital investments that's happening over here in Michigan. 100%. And guess what? Guess who's mad? Democrats. And Democrat women are pissed. I was looking at clips of people reacting. I can't believe the Michigan governor, right after she was sitting next to Michelle Obama and Kamala Harris and was stumping for her on the campaign. I can't believe she went and visited the White House. I can't believe that she's greeting Trump as soon as he gets off the plane. I can't take it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why is she doing this?
Well, I guess they think we're going to save this place. And you know what? They're right. 100% right. We're going to save it and make it better, actually. So at ease, everybody. At ease. Enjoy yourself. Sit down if you can. If those are chairs, yeah, they are, in a sense. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be back in the great state of Michigan. And as you know, we had big victory in Michigan. And I won't forget it, and I'm not forgetting it. And I'm honored to be here at Selfridge Air National Guard Base with the men and women of the 127th Wing of the Michigan Air National Guard. Thank you very much for being here. This is great. It's a great honor, and a great honor for me. We've had such success in Michigan. I want to thank the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, who's doing a really great job. The Houthis will tell you that. He's doing a very good job. Major General Paul Rogers and Brigadier General Daniel Kramer of the Michigan National Guard. Commander of the 127th Wing, Brigadier General Matthew Brancato, thank you very much. Deputy Commander Colonel David Spihar, wherever you may be, David. Where's David? Huh? Hello? Hello, David. Where the hell are you, David? Oh, hello, David. Thank you very much. He's like the quiet type, right? But a killer, I hear. Command Chief Master Sergeant Bruce Hedrick. Bruce? Hello, Bruce. Thank you very much, Bruce. Thank you, Bruce. Great job. For decades, they've been trying to save this facility. I didn't realize that. I thought it was just recently because I heard about it recently from some people, including your governor, who has done a very good job. She came to see me. That's the reason she came to see me, by the way, to save Selfridge. And she was very effective, along with some of the other politicians and some of the military people. They love this place. They love what it stands for, all the victories they've had here over the years. So I want to thank Governor Gretchen Whitmer for bringing it also to our attention very strongly.
So wait a minute. I thought y'all said that Trump doesn't work across the aisle. See, this is what they're not showing on MSNBC. This is what they're not showing on CNN. They don't want to have this conversation. They're not going to tell you that he flies to Michigan, that he works with Democrat governors, that he accepts their phone calls. He is not tripping over the fact that Gretchen Whitmer actually campaigned for, worked for, and advocated for Biden and then Kamala Harris to become president of the United States of America. He doesn't trip about it. Not only is he not tripping about it, he's actually publicly thanking her. He's saying, listen, thank you to Gretchen Whitmer. She came here. He's giving her props. She came to the Oval Office. She flew to Washington, D.C. to have a conversation with me about saving jobs over here at Selfridge. There are no feelings when it comes to business. He's making a business decision. He's making sure that he's working with governors and people across the aisle that is willing to work with him. So when you see people like a Jasmine Crockett or a Bernie Sanders or AOC, they are working for their own self-interests. They are not working for the people. Once the elections are over, you got to get to business. You got to do the work. You got to work for the people that's inside of your. And I have to give Gretchen Whitmer, I don't necessarily care for her as governor, but I have to also objectively give a Democrat governor credit for putting down her pride and flying to the Oval Office so that she can save an entire industry. Because let me tell you something, in military towns, if you've ever been to Selfridge, if you've ever been to Biloxi, if you've ever been to these places, they are supported by the entire industries around it is all based off of the support that comes from that particular industry. So it's not just saving the military jobs or saving this particular place. It's saving an entire town. It's saving an entire city. There's 1,000 different, probably 30, 40, 50,000 jobs that is interdependent on this industry to continue to thrive in order for it to be successful. So you have to put your pride down after election season is over. And you can still posture on TV and say, well, yeah, no, I didn't do it for Trump. I did it for these people or whatever, so on and so forth. But the reality is that you got to do what you got to do to work on the behalf of the people that voted you in. And when I see these evil politicians, the Cory Bookers and all of these people that is staging sit-ins and stuff, they doing that for the camera. They not doing it because they actually care about the people. If they was doing it because they cared about the people, they would actually be working across the aisle so that they can fly to the Oval Office, because she didn't just do it for this Selfridge. I believe she also did it for the Great Lakes also, because there's an invasive fish, an invasive species that could possibly harm our greatest and largest freshwater body of water. And so she got to do what she got to do. You can't stand on pride, stand on what you think in order to. What are you talking about, man? It's people that depend on you. Get across the aisle, work with the people that you're supposed to work with, and take care of business. And Trump, to his credit, he is not holding it against her. He didn't say, oh, no, you stomped for Kamala Harris. You did what you got to do. Nope. He said, nope. This is what she did. She came to the Oval Office. She said, come and take care of this business. She asked me to be able to do this. And so here I am. And I am the most visible president. I'm always doing the things, and I'm doing it, in front of the media. I came here to make sure that the people over here in Selfridge understand that your governor came and petitioned me for it. I would have never known, but I do not forget the people in Michigan that helped me win the election. This is what I'm going to make sure that I do for you guys. If we had a J.B. Pritzker do that, if you had a Brandon Johnson do that, if you had a Kathy Hochul do that, if you had a Mike Johnston do that, if you had these people that were actually amicable and working with the president of the United States of America, we would be much further along. But you got to have all of this opposition, and it's so stupid. The only people that suffer for it is the taxpayers.
And, I'm not supposed to do that. She's a Democrat. They say, don't do that. Don't have her here. I said, no, she's going to be here. She's done a very good job, frankly, and she was very much involved with the Republicans. They worked together on saving it, and it was not easy. So I want to thank you very much, Gretchen. Good job. Thank you. Michigan House.
I don't know how else you can frame it. Two people, opposite sides of the aisle, working together because it furthers the interests of the American people. That's the only thing that matters. All of this other stuff is fluff. It's nonsense. But Gretchen, of course, people wanted to grill her and they wanted to ask her questions about what it is that she's doing and why she is working with Trump and all of this stuff. And so she gave the interview and she had to speak on it. This is what she had to say.
And Governor Gretchen Whitmer joins us now on The Pulse, and it's so good to see you. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you. It's good to be with you.
So, Governor.
Nope, I don't put Gavin Newsom in the same category because Gavin Newsom only bowed the knee because they didn't have no choice because they was looking for funding in order to solve for the problems that was happening with the forest fires and the wildfires out there in California. Right after that, they sued the Trump administration. So Gavin Newsom is a snake. Gavin Newsom don't really care for the people. Gavin Newsom cares about his image because I believe he's going to try to run for president of the United States of America. It's not the same.
Governor, it's going to start with a question that everyone has on their mind, which is you went from that woman from Michigan just a few years back to she's a very good woman. She's done a terrific job. All of these really good superlative compliments from the president. What gives?
I'm that same woman from Michigan, Rube. I don't know. Listen, my job is to fight for the people of Michigan, whether it is in the midst of a pandemic when I'm getting threats or it is trying to get a fighter mission recapitalized at Selfridge and going to the Oval Office to get it done under the Trump administration. My North Star is the people of Michigan, and I'm really pleased that we were able to get this massive investment at Selfridge. It's such a big deal for the Michigan economy and for our men and women in uniform at Selfridge.
Yeah, and listen, I want to talk a little bit more about Selfridge in a moment because that really is what today's big story is about. But because people are so curious and because it matters to people, we're going to ask you the question about this relationship. There's so many people out there who say that these relationships between Democrats and Republicans, we need to repair something here because there just is such a fractured relationship, and we need to do what's best for people. Working with a Republican president like President Donald Trump, what does that mean for you?
Well, it's complicated, right? I mean, I understand why people are curious how on earth did, this come about. But, I was raised in a household. My dad was a Milliken Republican. My mom was a Democrat. I've always tried to cross the aisle. I've worked well with leaders when I was in the legislature on both sides of the aisle. Michiganders are not all Republicans, are not all Democrats, they're not all independents, but we are all people who deserve leaders who are doing their best to serve us, to make sure that, we can live our version of the American dream right here in this great state. So that's what I've always tried to do. I seek collaboration first. I don't look for fights. I don't back down from them either. And there are important fights that we must have, but where we can get something done, I'm always going to be an eager participant.
Now,
I believe that she is going to make a run for president of the United States of America. I do. I think that in some capacity, because she's term limited, so she will now be stepping down from being Michigan governor. I believe that this is one of her pitches. This is one of the things that she's trying to sell, that eventually she'll make a run to try to be president of the United States of America. It's the only other position that she can go for. After being governor, what's next? Well, to pitch yourself to be president of the United States of America. And if you don't win, to ultimately try to become a cabinet member of the person that does win if they are a part of the Democratic Party. So that's the next pitch. All of these people are planning the next steps. And so I think that she believes that she has to get some victories, some visible victories, to say, hey, I did this. Hey, I went out of my way. I'm willing to work across the aisle. That is going to be the new pitch for her.
we understand that the president is essentially easing up on those 25% tariffs on the auto industry. Speak about that for a moment. That is a big deal for so many of us here in this state.
It is. You know, I remain concerned that there's so much uncertainty. We know that uncertainty breeds paralysis. It's hard to get an individual to make an investment in uncertain times, much less a company that is making decades-long decisions, and that impacts jobs. So I was glad to see a little change in their policy with regard to the, automotive industry. But I remain concerned if these policies change daily, weekly, or monthly, it still creates that uncertainty, and we've already seen some people be laid off. We've seen consumers' prices go up, and so this chaotic tariff policy, I think, is really damaging. So while today is a good sign that they're listening, certainty and predictability are really, really important, and the chaos is costly.
What does it mean for Selfridge to have these fighter admissions come in like they did today and this announcement? And is it a complete done deal, or is it tied to any bills that are out there in Washington that we have to wait for?
Hey, y'all, Reggie Woods in the chat, he really, really, really wants y'all attention. So can somebody please give Reggie Woods some attention in the chat, because I like to interact with the chat. I like for people to participate in the chat, but he's really needing y'all attention. Like, he's reaching far, far. So because he wants that attention, and he's trying to say different things so that he can get some visibility. Can y'all please, can everybody in the chat actually say, Reggie, we love you, and you need to make sure that you keep your helmet on, okay? Shout out to Reggie Woods from Room 9 inside of the chat. Everybody give Reggie Woods from Room 9 inside of the chat a round of applause. There you go, Reg. You got our attention. Okay, Reggie. There you go, baby boy. Okay, Pumpkin.
No, the president said it's a done deal, and I'm going to take that to the bank. We know that the A-10, which is the primary fighter mission that we have at Selfridge, is scheduled to be retired. They're just phenomenal planes, but they are being retired. And there had not been a decision to recapitalize, and so we were really worried about Selfridge. Selfridge is the linchpin to so much of our defense work and our aerospace industry that is growing, advanced manufacturing. It's the linchpin to Alpena, Grayling, and Battle Creek, the other bases that we have. And so this was a really important thing. It's why I've been working on it, every year I've been governor, trying to get this recapitalized. So this announcement today of 21 F-15EX.
Sometimes you have to give people, some visibility, and then they'll be happy with themselves, and they got the attention of the class. And so it's another guy in the chat that really wants the attention of the class also. Let me see if I can find him. Give me a second, big dog. I got you, big dog. I'll see if I can find it.
This is the most cutting-edge plane. It is going to be flying out of Selfridge in Macomb County, Michigan, and it will secure. It's like a generational investment that will be secured because of it, and will continue to grow our aerospace sector. So this is great news, not just for us today, but for Michigan for the long term and for our economy writ large.
When you know that this has been something that's been efforted for so many years by Senator Gary Peters, by
so old man R right here. He should be taking his medicine. You know what I'm saying? Look, bro. Go get your A1C checked out. Go ahead and get a colonoscopy, whatever they call it. Get all of that done. Go, bro. You got to go and get your checkup. Make sure you get your meds. You know how they used to have, my grandmother used to have this med box where it says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we would have to go in and make sure that we put all of her medication in. You got to go get your A1C checked out, bro. Like the last thing you should be worried about is what's happening over here. All right. So everybody give R a round of applause from room 9. R Tard. Everybody give R some attention also. He wants y'all attention. He really, really wants y'all to acknowledge him before he go to his doctor's appointment to get his A1C checked out.
Yourself, by Candace Miller, so many. Why now? And did you give credit to President Trump?
Absolutely. I think the president, my first conversation with him after his taking office and in this term, I brought up Selfridge when I was at the White House for a black tie dinner back in February. I talked to Secretary Hegseth about it. I talked to President Trump. I sat at his table. I've had many meetings with him since, as well as phone calls, and every time I'm promoting Selfridge. And it's not just that conversation, but I think that was impactful, and they took a serious look and saw what a compelling reason it was to make sure that this investment happened in Macomb County, Michigan.
Governor.
So let me give a little bit of a round of applause objectively to Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Trump for working together to preserve jobs and to allocate investment over to Selfridge, as well as helping to protect the Great Lakes. I don't necessarily care for her, but I have to give credit where credit is due. She did a good job on this one.